Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, Matt Lodge leaves the Warriors with immediate effect. Bellamy says one more year with the Storm, and reports from the 3 Saturday games in the NRL. So let's begin with the first game of the afternoon, as we see two sides near the bottom of the table go at it. Those two sides are the New Zealand Warriors away at the St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Dragons and Warriors featured in two of the most bizarre games of the Magic weekend, left to rue what might have been after going under in tense finishes. Anthony Griffin's men went toe-to-toe with the Gold Coast Titans for 89 minutes before Jermaine Izarko's try secured a golden points victory for the Titans. The Warriors were blown off the park in the first half, but 4 tries in 15 minutes dragged them within 2 points with 2 minutes to play, but the Bunnies held on. After the Dragons this week, the Knights in round 12, the Warriors face Manly, Cronulla and Penrith in consecutive weeks, so it's imperative they get some confidence and momentum up ahead of this tough stretch. That job got a lot harder after it was announced that Matt Lodge was going to leave with immediate effect the New Zealand Warriors. In a statement the Warriors put out about this situation, it said, "Matt told us a long while ago that for professional and personal reasons he couldn't commit to a long-term future in New Zealand when we return home for next season," said the Vodafone Warriors CEO Cameron George. "The opportunity for him to leave us now allows us to move forward with our future planning and develop our younger players. We're grateful to Matt for the contribution he has made since joining us last year and wish him and his family all the best for the future." The 26-year-old Lodge joined the Vodafone Warriors from the Broncos in July last year. "I couldn't see my family in New Zealand for the long term," said Lodge. "Therefore, we decided the best thing for the club was for us to mutually part ways, so they have some clarity. I respect the club, and especially the boys, a lot, and hopefully I showed that by the way I trained and played physically, and gave my all every game." Lodge's final appearance, his 14th for the Vodafone Warriors, was against South Sydney last Saturday at the Magic Round. So let's look at the teams to see what the repercussions of that may be. Well, first of all, we have the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Jack Gosiewski, who was named to replace Josh Maguire with a groin injury, is out and instead replaced by Tariq Sims on the run-on side, with Tyrell Fuimoano joining the bench. Cody Ramsey starts at fullback in place of Tyrell Sloan, while Francis Molo's younger brother Michael makes his debut from the bench. Francis himself will start at prop in the number 18 jersey, after the Dragons retired the number 8 jersey this week in honour of the late Johnny Raper. For the Warriors, Ben Murdoch-Masila will start for Matt Lodge after the prop was granted the immediate release for the remainder of his contract. Alessia Katoa is the new face on the bench, while Jesse Arthurs is the 18th man. Ewan Aitken returns from concussion to start in the back row alongside his captain Tahoe, but he made his long-awaited return last week via the bench. Jazz Tavenga will play his 100th game for the New Zealand Warriors, so congratulations to him. So we go into the game, and it was goal kicking which provided the difference, as the Dragons came from behind to down the Warriors 24 points to 18 in a wet Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Both teams scored 4 tries, but St. George Illawarra centre Zach Lomax, who grabbed a double, landed 4 goals compared to the solitary conversion by the Warriors fullback Reece Walsh. Warriors centre Bellamy Vela also scored 2 tries for the visitors, as the visitors recover from poor start to take an 18 points to 12 lead early in the second half. But the Dragons finish off the strongest. The star of the match was the Warriors fullback Cody Ramsey, who finished with a try and laid off another for Lomax in his first performance of the season in the number 1 jersey. This is to definitely stake a claim long term for the position. For the Warriors, the loss compounded the Warriors by suspect fracture injury that prevented star prop Adam Fanua Blake from finishing the match and may sideline him for a significant period. That means that they must go on into the market to find a replacement for that period, and also for the departed Matt Lodge. So the Dragons enjoyed the best possible start when Zach Lomax dived on the loose ball in the Warriors in-goal area to score in the opening minute, after former teammate Ewan Aitken slipped trying to clean up Talitao Amone Grubber. However, the Warriors quickly hit back after Dylan Watani-Zelezniak batted back a perfectly placed kick from Sean Johnson for the centre Vilea to score it in the 10th minute. Johnson then put the Warriors ahead 10-6 after the 24th minute, with an individual try after dummying past rival fullback Ben Hunt and spinning out of an attempted tackle to score. Hunt made amends to help the Dragons regain the lead when he combined with Amoni to put the fullback Cody Ramsey over for his try. Valea's second try came on the 27th minute and was almost identical to the first, with the Fijian swooping on a loose ball after Watani-Zelezniak and opposing wing Matt Begai even were unable to catch a Sean Johnson kick in an aerial contest. Watani-Zelezniak extended the Warriors' lead to 18 points to 12 just 4 minutes after the second half restarted, when he finished a backline shift started by Tahoe Harris and featuring Johnson, Reece Walsh and Valea. The Dragons regained momentum just 3 minutes later when interchange prop Michael Molo crashed over from close range in his NRL debut to lift the home team. Lomax's second try came off the back of a long-range break from Ramsey, who found Amoni in support, but the 5'8" was tackled by Aitken. Ramsey then darted out a dummy half on the next tackle to put Lomax over in the 51st minute. And the 70th minute, a Lomax penalty sealed the win after Warriors fullback Reece Walsh interfered in the play of the ball and following a long-range Amoni attack. And that's where the scoring ends, as the St.George Illawarra won 24 points to 18. Our next game sees the North Queensland Cowboys face off against the Melbourne Storm, with the Cowboys riding a 5-game winning streak and will relish the opportunity to make a statement against one of the heavyweights of the competition on Saturday night, with Chad Townsend and Tom Dearden clicking in the halves, Muitalagi and Val Holmes on fire out wide, and Ruben Cotter playing out of his skin up front. North Queensland look every bit a premiership contender, a remarkable turnaround from when they finished 15th in 2021. The Storm did it tough without Ryan Pappenhausen and Jerome Hughes against the Panthers, but Craig Bellamy's men rarely put 2 below par performances back to back, so Todd Payton's men will need to be on high alert. The full house sign is expected to be posted at Queensland's Country Stadium as the Townsville faithful get behind their team in a bid to make it 6 in a row, and catapult a number of their stars into the Maroons team for Origin 1. That being said, the Storm are buoyed with the news that Craig Bellamy will continue his unmatched career as a senior coach for Melbourne Storm in the 2023 season, after confirming today he will remain in the head coach position for at least 1 more year. his 21st at the club. The news was announced to the Storm players and staff at the Sunshine Coast camp today before they continued the preparations for round 11 match against the North Queensland Cowboys. This will also be Bellamy's 509th game as Melbourne's coach. The Master Coach signed a 5-year contract with the Storm in 2022 that allowed him to decide each year whether he will continue in the head coach role for the following season or transition into a coaching director role. Bellamy said he enjoyed having the enjoyment of he was having coaching the entire current squad of Storm players, who were second in the NRL ladder after 10 rounds, had been a key factor in his decision to continue in the role next season. The group we have here at the moment are a pretty exciting group, and they're an enjoyable group to work with and hang around with, he said. Our staff off the field are really good people, and I know how hard they are working. It's a pleasure working with them. I think I've got another 12 months to give, so I'm looking forward for that next year. And with that, here are the teams. Cohen Hess has come into the starting side an hour before kickoff, with Ruben Cotter shifting to the bench. Connolly Lemuelu is the 18th man. The Cowboys can stake their claim as genuine premiership threat if they extend their winning streak to 6 games with the victory over the Storm. Craig Bellamy shuffled his backline on game day, with Harry Grant moving to halfback and Nick Meaney to fullback, while Tyron Wishart drops to the bench. Tui Kamikamacha will start at prop for the injured Nelson Asafo Solomona, and Brandon Smith goes to hooker. Chris Lewis has joined the bench though. Let's get into the game. The Cowboys produced a stunning second half blitz to beat Melbourne 36 points to 6 at Queensland's Country Bank Stadium. 4 tries in 12 minutes just after half-time ensured the Cowboys made it 6 victories on the trot, their best sequence since their premiership year in 2015 when they won a club record 11 straight. The Cowboys made the perfect start when Tom Gilbert produced a superb solo try from 30 minutes out in the 11th minute, after the Storm had opted for a short dropout. Gilbert took the ball on the full before beating Maron Seve and Harry Grant and taking Nick Meaney over the line with him just to score the second try of his career. The home side had their second try 8 minutes later when Tom Dearden jumped in to dummy half and delivered a short ball for Reece Robson, who powered over from close range. The Cowboys invited the Storm back into the game with some costly errors, and when Felice Kafusi crossed in the 32nd minute, the score was 12 points to 6. Melbourne had a golden opportunity to level the scores on the stroke of half-time, after getting a fresh set of 6 in close range to the line, but a forward pass out of dummy half by Brandon Smith saw the chance go begging. A spilled bomb by Dean Eremaya early in the second half gave North Queensland a chance, and it was a winger, Murray Tuilagi, grabbing another try in the left corner with a spectacular dive. Tuilagi collected a Petahiku pass on the bounce, and then, when he was confronted by Smith in the cover defence, he took to the air and flew into the corner with a one-hand put down. 4 minutes later, the Cowboys were in again when Jeremiah Nane continued his outstanding season with another try, and Todd Painter's men were out to 24 points to 6 lead. Scott Drinkwater continued the avalanche in the 52nd minute of a sweet Chad Townsend pass, and the home side had piled on 3 tries in 8 minutes. Nane made it a double in for the 56th minute when Townsend put in a deft grubber, and the young fullback back rower touched down in the for his 10th try of the season. A penalty against Kaufusi for late contact on Drinkwater gave the rampant Cowboys another shot from close range, and Cohen Hess got over the line, but was pulled up for a double movement. With 10 minutes to play, Tuilagi was denied his second 4-pointer when Xavier Coates showed great desperation to get underneath the Cowboys winger and deny him a try. The Cowboys head to Sydney in round 12 to take on the Premiers Penrith in what shapes as one of the games of the season. But the scoreline to finish it all off, it was Cowboys Day, 36 points to 6. So just a quick snapshot. Jesse Bromwich went off for a HIA in the first half with a clash of heads with teammate Tui Kamikacha. He passed and returned later on. Jason Tomalolo was forced off on the 27th minute in a big blow for the Cowboys and was unable to take further part in the match. Cowboys lost winger Carl Felt to injury in the 16th minute after he buckled under an awkward tackle. The Cowboys have now scored 30 points in 5 consecutive matches, while veteran Chad Townsend continues to lead the Cowboys with style, as he has 2 trying assists and 1 line break. Felice Kaufusi ran for 108 minutes with 108 metres with 4 tackle breaks, and Kenny Bromwich 103 metres were the only Storm forwards to run more than 100 metres during the game. On the other hand, Trent Liero chips in with 140 metres in the 39 minutes off the bench. The Cowboys broke a 12-game losing streak in games against the Storm, but Murray Tuilagi was put on report for a dangerous tackle in the 59th minute. We now turn our attentions in the third and final game of Saturday to a team with Premiership aspirations and a team that is top of the table. Sydney Roosters take on Penrith Panthers at the Sydney Cricket Ground. As the Roosters have been something of an enigma in 2022, beating the Cowboys, Eels and Sea Eagles, and as well as the Brisbane Broncos, but losing to the Bulldogs, Dragons and the Knights. They'll be looking to set up a groove though with 2 wins on the bounce, and the form of Joseph Suwali and Sam Walker in Magic Round will give them plenty of confidence as they prepare to tackle the Premiers. Penrith could not have been any more impressive in the dismantling of the Storm, and they now sit alone at the top of the table as they close in on a testing state of origin period when a number of stars will be called up. Much has been made of Penrith's remarkable home record in recent years, but it's worth noting that they are unbeaten in away games in 2022, so a trip to the iconic SCG will hold no fears for Ivan Cleary's men. Now, onto the teams. First of all, the Roosters, as Drew Hutchison again comes into the starting side at hooker in a game day swap with Connor Watson. Another change sees Egan Butcher joining the bench and Daniel Sulukia Fafita dropping out. Lindsay Collins was promoted to the start in the front row in his return from a high tackle suspension after a forward reshuffle when the teams were trimmed to 24 hours before kickoff. Sitili Tupanua is out. Nat Butcher moves to the second row, and Soisua Takiao shifts to the lock position. Terrell May is the new face on the interchange bench on NRL debut. The Premiers run out the same 17 men that took care of the Melbourne Storm in devastating fashion in Magic Weekend. They also have Ivan Cleary back on deck after he missed the trip due to a knee surgery. with Charlie Staines now as the 18th man. So the first half was a tough slog for both sides as they were both intense in defence, and Sydney have been renowned for their defence being the most miserly this season so far. And that's shown when the winger Sully put Bellamy on his backside basically when he went in for a big hit with Penrith attacking that left side, which they favoured during the first half. When Isaiah Yo's break midway through the first half set up an attacking opportunity, the ball was worked to Jerome Luai, who was strong enough to find his way over the line for the first try of the game to make it 6-0 as Nathan Cleary added the extras. Luai not long after followed up with a double as he broke through some weak Roosters defending, to be honest, to go over in the same position as he did for the first try. That means that it was 12-0 soon after as Nathan Cleary added the extras. Happy Kafusi joined the party as he scored the third try. Just a simple dive over from dummy half as he took one player over with him to make it 18-0 as Cleary once again added the extras. We go into the second half and it was a tough slog for both sides yet again. Both looked angling for position, and it took until the 19th minute of the second half when Penrith went in again. This time it was on the back of a Roosters attack as they were deep in Penrith's 20. Luke Keary did a crossfield bomb to the left edge of the Roosters attack. It was defused by Crichton, who had the free run after this to run 92 metres to extend the lead to 22 points to nil, which Cleary extends to 24 points to nil with a perfect kicking record so far. The Roosters finally make pay some positional and territorial gains as they score off from James Tedesco. He runs on the shoulder of Luke Keary, who gives him a smart pass, and he goes over to score on plenty of Roosters' second phase play. It was always going to go to Tedesco, but they had lots of runners and lots of options on the second phase. So if Tedesco was marked off, it was easy enough to pass it on to someone else. Sam Walker added the conversion, and the scoreline is now 24 points to 6. The next points came at the hands of the Penrith Panthers as a straight crash play from in the middle of the sticks in the Sydney 20-metre line found Jared Fisher-Harris a gap to go over underneath the sticks. As Fisher-Harris was going under the post for the try, he was collected in the tackle by Wahira Hargreaves, who caught him with a forearm, attempting a tackle or attacking the ball or whatever. Totally accidental, but the referee was going to have a word, possibly put it on report, and called Wahira Hargreaves to him. But Wahira Hargreaves had too much to say for himself and talked himself into a sin binning, being on report, and his team getting a penalty try given against him. So not only the 4 and a conversion from in front, a second conversion for Nathan Cleary to extend his side's lead to 32 points to 6. The Roosters go over for a second try not long after this, after Jake Momorowski is on the end of some great play on the left edge. It seemed like that the video referee was called straight away due to 2 instances of obstruction in the play, but after looking at it, the Roosters player who was obstructed, they let it play on because there's a potential that they were going to score. The Penrith Panthers' call for obstruction on Nathan Cleary was just Nathan Cleary sticking his arm out to make sure that he got hit by a Roosters player for the potential of a obstruction call, but it wasn't given, and Momorowski's got a second try for Sydney. Walker adds the extras, and it's 32 points to 12. And that's the end of the try scoring, as the Penrith Panthers beat the Sydney Roosters 32 points to 12 to extend their lead at the top of the NRL ladder. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell for any updates that may be coming your way, as well as sharing this video worldwide so we can get the word out for our fantastic sport. So, you tell me what the best result of the weekend was. Was it the North Queensland, well, the day so far, or the episode even, North Queensland Cowboys victory against the Melbourne Storm? Or was it Penrith beating Sydney Roosters at the SCG? The other game, St. George and New Zealand Warriors. I think the Warriors are in potential mode once again and need a couple of big forwards to help out the team. Big names, but you won't get that. They'll have to pay a premium. Unless Matt Lodge was earning $3 million a year. I don't think that'll happen. Anyway, comments please on the video. Tell me what you thought of each of the games and what are the prospects for each of these 6 teams during the season. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. And I'll wish you all the best. Please stay safe. And I'll see you in the next episode.